Hello. I wanted to give a quick update about, basically a bossing setup. So, quick backstory. I just went and completed a bunch of bossing I still had to do. So, basically, now I have all my watchstones, and I got all these slots, like the favor slots, unlocked that required me to do Maven and Cyrus and all kind of things. And I did every single invitation as well, including the field. So while doing that, I did run into a few issues, or like inconvenience basically. I found Maven, Uber Elder, and also the field actually to be quite challenging on the build as it is right now. And it was just a bit inconsistent. It wasn't really comfortable to do. And I came up with a solution that does not involve spending a lot of money. It essentially involves almost no spending and solves my problem. The goal was not to farm these, to like be a field farmer or Maven farmer. I just wanted to get done once. So without spending a lot of currency, basically, just to like load up the build for something that I don't want to farm. I just want to get my completion once, be done with it. And one solution would be to just get a carry, basically spend some chaos, have somebody else do it for you. But that doesn't feel so great. So there is some tech I remembered, and I actually thought about it a while ago already, but couldn't fit in, and that is Blade Trap, using Blade Trap. Issue was that we are using a wand by now, and Blade Trap doesn't work with wands. So I kind of scrapped the idea until I realized I'm basically only using this wand because of the explosions. So I don't need the explosions. I just need something that has equal damage, essentially. And I remembered Cold Iron Point. I put it into PUB and figured out that swapping from the Obliteration wand to Cold Iron Point, it actually is a damage increase, interestingly enough. But that's not the point. That is not what helped killing these bosses significantly more consistent and easier. It's just a minor increase. That's not the point. The point is that we have a dagger and can use Blade Trap. So how the setup looks, or basically the swap is, I color a Cold Iron Point, which is super cheap by now, accordingly, and just swap my gems. So we still have our Malevolence setup, so that's done. And we need to swap our Exsanguinate setup for Blade Trap setup. So in this case, this is just an example. I'm just have some random boots, and I'm gonna swap boots. So you can get a second pair of boots, essentially, like these ones. They're not too expensive to get, to swap this in and out if you want to. In my case, I didn't use these boots. What I did, I just recolored my boots for this one-off, kill 3 bosses and then swap back and never touch these bosses again. I just recolored these actual boots here. So setup is Cold Iron Point, and instead of Exsanguinate, we have Blade Trap, can be level 1. I don't know if there's any benefits of leveling it up, but I don't think so. So level 1 Blade Trap, cluster traps and multiple traps to have like a ton of them, and Withering Touch. Because the weakness, or a weakness for this build in terms of higher level bossing, I would say, is in general it's obviously degen still, and recovery outside of blowing up packs of monsters. Like in mapping, it has great recovery. We are constantly shooting up to full life, but that's really not a thing with bossing. So that's one issue it has. The second issue is, or what basically plays into that, is that we are applying withered with withering step constantly. So it's not only inconsistent to apply this, it is also really dangerous to apply this, or kind of difficult to apply this, because we need to be right next to the boss, or quite close to the boss. It has like a cooldown, so you need to kind of pull your traps, make sure your Malevolence is on, maybe combine it with a focus, to have like a big focused multi-traps whenever the bosses are not moving. Like, for example, Maven, which moves around a lot, is already hard, and on top of that, get withered on that. I think applying Wither to bosses or mobs in terms of how much damage that gives you is easily undervalued. So yeah, it's just completely undervalued how much damage Withered gives. Also, if I'm correct about this Withering Step will apply 6 Wither stacks right, every 3 seconds. And then we have they last 4.8 seconds. So technically we could get up to 12 stacks for extended period of time, or some period of time applied to the boss, which I believe the max is 15. Might be a bit wrong about these numbers, but overall, realistically, in these windows, we get, in these high damage windows, we get like 6 wither stacks on it. So the goal with the swap is to also, you're just going to change this. You're not going to have this on left click anymore. You're not using withering step. The idea is to apply more wither stacks using blade trap. So we have more wither damage. We have more consistent uptime of these wither stacks. So we can basically guarantee it during our high damage windows. And also, we can stay further away. There's like no reason to stand right next to the boss. We still have malevolence, obviously, but I feel like the radius isn't too small. It kind of works, and wither stacks are, I feel like, it's more important than malevolence. So you get the idea. How this works is pretty simple. If you have a look at like these traps, I'm just gonna throw a few like this, up to 20 apparently, and this hits a lot. Like, they don't last for long, but you can throw them all the time, right? You can throw your normal traps, and you can throw a few of those without destroying your normal traps. And you have these short burst windows while your focus is up, while your traps are going. That's essentially the idea to make bossing significantly easier if you're struggling with something like Maven. I only used it on Maven, Uber Elder, and Defeared. Actually, everything else is fine without it. I feel like since I have it now, if I would go for any other boss, I would use it as well. Probably actually get maybe at some point a second pair of boots, so it's like a super easy swap. So that really helped me out without spending a lot of currency, which is also something you could do. You could take this build way further, but that's not the idea of it, right? That's not what I wanted to do. This is supposed to be a very baseline build, rather cheap build that allows to do everything I wanted to do. And even though it's a bit weird to have Seismic not as the bosser build, we just went into a different direction, or I went a different direction this time around. And that's where I would like to keep it in this case. So yeah, that's the bossing setup. Round up Cold Iron Point instead of Obliteration Wand, same gems. Get a second pair of boots, or recolor your normal boots, which is super cheap, and put just scrap your entire Exsanguinate setup and use Blade Trap, Cluster Trap, multiple traps, and Withering support. They can all be level 1. Who cares? It's easy enough to do it with that. You can also POB if it's worth leveling them up. It's probably not. That's it. Bye-bye.